Welcome back to the Constitution in 3 minutes or less with Mr. Postel. Last time we talked about May 31st, and this was the day that they got through all of the resolutions having to do with the legislature. So what was the major resolution that they could not come to an agreement on? Well, they had chosen to allow the people to elect the men of the House of Representatives. And then they got to the Senate, and they were choosing the mode of election for the senators, and they couldn't come to an agreement. Madison calls this the great chasm left in the plan. Some men want the state legislatures themselves to be wholly responsible for appointing men to the Senate. Madison in the Virginia plan lays out that the state legislatures will choose a short list, and then that the federal legislature, the other branch, which we now know as the House, will choose from among that short list provided by the state legislatures. On Friday, June 1st through the 4th, what they do is they talk about the executive. And the major thing that they debate about is how many people will make up the executive. Will it be a unitary executive, or will it be more than one person? Maybe 3 executives. So that's the major issue that they talk about when they talk about the executive. Now, on the 5th, that's the first day that they talk a lot about the federal judiciary. And they get all the way through the 15th resolution on the 5th. They postpone a few resolutions on the way, but generally they're moving along through the Virginia plan. And then Mr. Pinckney and Mr. Rutledge move that tomorrow be assigned to reconsider the clause of the 4th resolution, which respects the election of the first branch of the national legislature, which passed in the affirmative. Now, after Mr. Pinckney and Mr. Rutledge move that they go back to Resolution 4, after they've gotten all the way through all of the resolutions, it's almost a tied vote. It's 6-5. So they decide that on the 6th, they are going to actually pick up the 4th resolution once again. And what they get into is an argument about what's better, small states or big states. Mr. Sherman argues that, and I quote, "If it were in view to abolish the state governments, the elections ought to be by the people. If the state governments are to be continued, it is necessary in order to preserve harmony between the national and state governments that the elections to the former should be made by the latter." So what Mr. Sherman and some of these other folks are saying is that if you allow the people to elect that first branch of the legislature, then you're going to destroy all of the power of the state legislatures, because the people in the states will just rely on the federal government. Now, on June 6th, Madison steps up and he gives the first fully fleshed out argument of the extended sphere, the same argument that will become famous in Federalist 10. And next time, what we will do is we will talk about exactly what Madison says and why that argument is prominent. I'll see you next time.